So let's start this lecture, and in this lecture you will learn how to work with files in Python. We'll start straight away by creating a text file in a certain directory in our computer. I have created an empty directory here in my Windows C drive, where I'll be creating my text file from within Python. So I'll save my files in this directory. The directory is c/in. Now let's go straight ahead and create an empty text file in our empty directory. To do that, we use the Python open method. Remember that everything that is created outside of Python is reflected back to a Python object inside Python. That means that when creating a file in our computer through Python, we are automatically creating a Python file object. As always, we can store objects in variables. So here I'm storing the file object that I'll create in a variable, and I'll name my variable file. So file equals open, and then we write the path of our file. Now the path is the full directory, including the file name. And in my case it is c/, and I'll call the file testing.tsc. And we also want to specify here another parameter, and this parameter specifies the file opening mode. So if you just want to read a file, you'll use R, which stands for read. If you want to write content in that file from within Python, you'd want to use W, meaning write. I'm going to use write mode here for my file. And done. We have a new text file now in our system. But don't trust me, check to verify that. And here it is. Now, what we have done so far is created a file and opened it with Python. Opening the file with Python is essentially the same thing as opening it with other programs. Let's say Microsoft Word or Notepad, for instance. That means I cannot delete the file now because the file is already open in another program, which is Python in this case. If you want to delete the file, you have to close it first. And to do that, we use the close method. Now go ahead and delete it, and successful. Next, let's again create the file and write something on it. To write something in a file, we use the write method. I'm gonna write a string in my text file. Let's say such a nice file that I am. Now I'm gonna close the file and see what we have come up with. What we want to do next is open an existing file. And our existing file is testing.txt in this case. Again, we use the open method as we did earlier for creating a new file. And again, if we want to just read the content of the file, we use R. Otherwise, we use W. I'm gonna use R this time. Remember, with the read mode we can only read, but with the write mode we can both read and write. Now let's see what the file has inside from within Python. For that we use a file method called read. So we used write before, now we use read. And I'll store the content in a variable called content. And we can see what we got in our content variable using the print function. And here we go. Let's close the file now. A few more things worth to mention are, if you open an existing file using the write method and you write something on it, the existing content of the file will be overwritten. Let's say I want to write this string. Okay, new line here. And I want to close the file and see what we've got now. So the new string has overwritten the existing content. So you're thinking, how do we append content to an existing file? Well, that's simple. All you have to do is use the append method instead of the write method when you open a file. And A is the keyword for that. Now let's append a string. Notice here that the string is, this goes to the next line. The \n is a keyword. If you don't use the \n, the line will be written in the same line with the existing text. The \n operator creates a new line break, allowing the new text to be written in the next line. Let's quickly check now what we got in our text file. First, we need to close the file. So we have a new text line in our file. And that was some good information that covered how to create a new file and open an existing one, and also how to write, read, and append content to a file. So see you in the next lecture.